in your opinion, do you think PhD Hard Talk is beneficial for us as scientists, universities alike, and the communities in which we conduct our research in? Or do you think, no, Norma, it's not working. You need to do a bit of work or just call it a day, it's not working. What are your thoughts?
I would never say that to you. Anyone who says that to you is a liar. This platform is phenomenal. And I was even telling you this, I think, before we started. You were the first person to reach out to me when I was, just a young baby graduate student to share and disseminate my work on a global platform. And that was so huge for me. One, in being able to practice communicating my work in ways that are accessible, but also to be able to recognize the value in the work that I was doing because you saw that. And I think you do such an amazing job of finding talented researchers across the globe whose voices deserve to be centered. And it has a big impact on our sense of self and our self-worth. You really set that foundation for me. And I'm super grateful now to be able to come back and to tell you that now that I'm almost done with my program, because it is incredibly meaningful. One, because it, impacts the scholars directly and how we view ourselves as professionals. But also something I think that you also mentioned before we started is like, it also shows other people out there that they can also pursue PhD programs. When you see people who come from varied walks of life talk about their research, it really shows you that there could also be a pathway for you to be able to contribute to the field. So the access that you provide through disseminating on the multiple platforms, whether it's YouTube or TikTok or LinkedIn or whatever, it shows such a broad array of people that they also have voices that deserve to be centered. And so this is exactly the type of platform that is desperately needed within the field so that we can continue to push it forward, because we are showing people that it's possible. It's in the realm of possibility for them. It's something that can be tangible. And it also helps us to connect with one another on a global scale, which is phenomenal. And the fact that you've been able to do that while getting a PhD, wild, girl, like crazy wild in the best way possible. I love it. And I think you should be so proud of yourself.
I think it is. I'm a big, so like, I remember my advisor told me once that like, when you become a faculty member, you're immediately going to lose your ability to perspective take with graduate students. And I remember hearing that, like, I understand why that might be the case. Like her point was that like, it's really hard to, once you're in a position of power, like remember what it's like to not be. But what I took away from that is like, I need to remember, right? And I am now a professional academic, but I still desperately cling on to old memories and always remind myself that academia is such an opaque place. If you haven't been here before, you have no idea what's going on, and that's not any fault to your own. Like this, that's true of everywhere, and we forget how opaque it is. And so, I think anything that reduces that opaqueness is always going to be extremely valuable, right? And the only reason I was able to succeed in academia is like, well, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here right now. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm seeing an hour 20 and I'm like, that's fine. The only reason I've been successful in academia is because other people have done this, because they have stopped and gave me the time to help me understand my environment, whether I was about to enter it or considering entering it or already there, right? And like I said in the beginning, this is true of most institutions, right? There's all these norms, idiosyncrasies, all these things that you never can truly understand until you're there. And academia is no different, if not maybe even harder, because it's like just such an opaque place, right? It's if you've worked in one company, that experience is going to generalize much more to another company than it is to academia. A lot of unique, weird idiosyncrasies. And so anything that pops that bubble is extremely valuable, which is why I'm very happy to be here, because I know how valuable being able to hear about people's experiences and sort of have that raw view of what it's like on the inside. I think that's exceptionally valuable.
No, ultimately it will benefit. If I talk about the higher education at university, it is, if I talk about higher education, Not studying is only a simple one part, but research has a major boost in that. If I talk about Indian University or any other university, they have a rank university, NIRF ranking. So they rank according to how university are working in terms of research, in terms of collaboration, in terms of number of project grant from the government. So it is a research who will uplift the university, Indian economy through different sector, different area. So yes, research will ultimately benefit. If there is no research, there is simple teaching marketing, the old concept, and this will not benefit in the long run. Research is very important in terms of any field because the evolvement of different concept, different model, it is the basis of research. People are reading, people are writing, people are publishing, and this will benefit. For example, if I talk about any university in the world, top of the university, you will see that their research is top. Why top? Because they are researching on new idea. So if you delete the word research, then only teaching will happen and nothing will change. So research, yes, research is very, very important.
I would say that you're doing very well. Honestly, I wonder how that passion was bettered, but I can say you're on the right track because you're contributing both academically and practically. People can look watch your programs and able to coin out things that see how our conversation had been. Students, researchers can come in and see areas that will be beneficial to them. Sometimes you look at books you want to read, but picking your section, just 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sit down, it brings a fresh perspective. It brings adding knowledge to the body of knowledge. It's you projecting it with a different light, and the world is digital today. It's something that at the end of the day, a research student can look at and see how it contributes to him or her in the space of their doctoral program. And then it can also help in the practical side of it. Businesses can look at it and say, okay, this is what we can do that can help us. So I would say in the doctoral space, it's contributing a whole lot. It's contributing a lot. You adding to the body of knowledge by having the conversations, having interactions with PhD holders, with people in the academic space, scholars, people that have been able to, they are still, after their PhD, they are able to have these conversations, how they have advanced with their PhD and able to share insight. This is very important. And you're not speaking to just some set of persons. You're able to capture the mind of the early researchers. You're able to capture the mind of those in the middle of the way and those that have gone ahead. Seriously speaking, just our conversation, I have learned a lot what I need to do before I go for that ethical part. You may look at it that it's just casual conversations, but a whole lot is being done. It's so impactful. So to those out there in the academic space, to those out there in the practical space, so you're doing a great whole lot of job. And I would say that this can only, this is just the beginning. What I see, I'm not a prophet, what I see with PhD Hard Talk, the name alone draws an attention. And anybody that sees it, like, yeah, PhD is really a hard thing, but let me come and see what the person is talking about. And you see that the name Hard Talk, you begin to drill in to see that there are ways you can go about this thing. At the end of the day, you get what you're looking for. So well done.
For me, I said to you earlier, I am actually appreciative of your platform because, like I said, it's not only making research something that is relevant to the individual who is walking in the street, but it's also creating this awareness that, guys, academia and research is another career path that you can undertake. I like the fact that you're trying to make research something that is accessible to the wider community, not just us in the academic field, you know. You're getting people to think like the different types of research that you discuss on your platform. You're getting people to think in a different way, to say, Okay. So if I did that, I could do this because one thing with research, in order for it to succeed, we also need to change the mentality of the individuals. I could say I want to minimize the amount of wastewater that's generated. But if the common person does not close the tap when brushing their teeth, they're still generating water. So now it's about educating that mentality to change their behavior. So I like what you're doing, Norma. It actually speaks to what is my passion, which is using education as a power to change the world, So I love it. I love it. And
No, I would not say that. Otherwise, I would not be here. What I would say is, maybe I'll say it after. No, I think this is a really good platform because it covers quite a number of things. There's different people that would watch it. You might get a professor that's got 30 years experience watching this because they are supervising an undergraduate, postgraduate. So they can learn something from these stories that we're sharing about our challenges and opportunities that we faced on that PhD journey. But also I would encourage, those, undergraduate, early career research, watch this recording. If you don't have a PhD, this is the what you might want to spend your evening. Just find an interview that might interest you and learn from that. I wish this was available back in before I started my PhD, so that I can watch and understand what am I exactly am I signing up to going and to do a PhD as well. And we need that community to be able to share, collaborate, and network. It's a really good platform. If I watch a recording or someone watches my work around professional discussions, I might get the opportunity to be contacted and do collaborative work, networking, maybe working on research. So that's how I see this community. And I would say do not stop. You need to continue, get more people, more diverse people across the world as well to share their knowledge and experience and challenges. It might help someone to make that decision. And it's about painting the true picture of the PhD journey and the challenges that we go through. It's not a smooth journey. I've gone through 8 years. I was supposed to do less than that, but that's my story. That's my journey. But I got to the end. Some people never make it. But I think if someone watches my video and they understand the journey that I've got through, it will help them to make that informed decision if they should go for this or not.
Thank you. No, you're doing a great job. I think it's very important. It's great to not only being able to talk about these things, but also reflect on your own research, reflect on other people's research, and understand that through these kind of formats, people are seeing that research is becoming more diverse. I think it's becoming more focused on understanding how different societies and cultures work without having this kind of old glasses on, seeing it also from the same perspective all the time. So I think it's a very beneficial program, very beneficial formats, very interesting to see different people and their journeys. I love hearing about other people's journeys into academia because it just gives me a lot of confidence that we all have different life stories, but we come here and we want to find something out about this world, and this connects us like across the topics, across the different disciplines, which makes it so exciting. And I think for universities, they should look at this. They should read, hear and read about PhD hard talk to understand how younger researchers are becoming full researchers, who walk this journey with different kind of biographies, and they're making, a difference in the world, I think. And that is something that university academia that they need.
Well, no, I think that PhD Hard Talk is a great, not only avenue of exploring other people's work and sharing and disseminating that work with others, but I think the work that you and PhD Hard Talk is doing, I think is really important, particularly in the polarized world that we live in, because you're interacting, you're giving other scholars, perhaps marginalized scholars or scholars on the periphery or whatever you want to call that, you're giving people a voice. And I think regardless of me who has privilege compared to someone who might not necessarily have the same privilege, you're giving everybody space to share their ideas and communicate. And that's really not humbling, but that's really nice and really gratifying to know and reassuring that you're making that effort, and PhD Hard Talk is there to support grad students and people and students who are interested in grad school, but not know exactly how to go about it, or might want to listen, get some advice, or listen to PhD Hard Talk and listen to what other scholars have to say who've perhaps gone through similar experiences, or experiences that they can share that might help inspiring other young academics who might not know if they want to go to grad school, give them the ideas and the tools necessary to make the best decisions that they can make to get into grad school. So that's really important. I think the PhD Hard Talk, I think as a platform, is again really essential for universities, not just in England, but I think in other areas or other parts of the world. And so I'm really excited for the work that you've been doing, not just the interview, but like even since I started this new Instagram channel of mine, or account, since I've been following you guys, I've just been overwhelmed to see how much effort and so much integration that you've had with the scholarly community around the world, and I think we need more of that. So yes, 100%. We need your platform at other schools, and make it even more exciting and for people who are interested in becoming, I guess, better scholars. Sorry, I'll finish there. I was rambling at the end.
I would think because it's available in platforms that are accessible by anybody. So who can argue that? Right? So let's talk about the market we're trying to serve here. And the other methodologies. Because my understanding is that your program is about dissemination of research, but at the same time is educational. I talk about my story, but at the same time, you impart knowledge to everybody. What I like is that in your program, we got to speak things in a simpler version than how it is written in a dissertation. It's easy for someone to just listen what I meant about ethnography or phenomenologically, or paradigm. And then it's easy to go and read the proper writing. So it simplifies things, because I've listened to some of your programs with other, presenters. It's just simple. There's no technical language. It's closer to, presentations at conferences, but in a more digestible setup, if you get what I mean. So if universities want to simplify concepts and aspects, refer a person to this and say, just go listen to that conversation and just hear what phenomenological studies and ethnography studies and those funny paradigms, how do you position yourself? It's easy now to understand that a researcher doesn't enter a research as and when they please. Those paradigms, and then how do you position yourself? I've explained it here. In a simple conversation, then it's easy to go collect your literature review and now piece it together. So to me, it's accessibility again, simplification, critical information that's almost similar to conferences, although in a relaxed setup here, if you know what I mean. So it's certainly beneficial, provided people use it. I'm gonna go to the Bible quickly. It says people perish for lack of knowledge. But how do you uncover knowledge? You need to go look for it. And this is available on YouTube, for example. available on, I think, in Instagram.
Yes.
So that's where everyone is, and many even students, postgrad students frequent those platforms. Use these things, use the information here.
Initiative. Unfortunately, researcher scientist doesn't talk much. Academic has a lot of drawbacks, which we need to change with time, which is unfortunately not changing. Of course, a lot of things had changed. So scientists need to be vocal, which we are not, unfortunately. I try to talk much on conferences, much through my papers. Many do that, but I think a platform like PhD Hard Talk is necessary to bring the ideas out of research also. It should be not always like talking about paper. It should not always have a meeting in the university to changing the students, but something out of the box, talking something which can be beneficial towards the people who want to come in a research just because they are fascinated or something. And this platform right now giving the people who want to, let's say, be in research, you have a lot of guests, they can contact them, they can talk to them, they can get an idea. So I think it's a very good platform. It should be continued, and I think every university should do that. They should not always focus on professors or people who do a PhD. They should always also focus on the people who are working in the university, let's say, who is cleaning the desk in the university. Should bring those people also on the desk, because it's a system. Everyone is a part of that system, how they see the university. Not only the professors and the researchers. University belongs to a lot of other people who work so hard, who make that institute or the organization keep running. So I think professor and researchers are definitely a part, but apart from that, bachelor, master, everyone has a lot of story to tell. So I think it's a good platform to let people, the world knows that how the life of a researcher or a university is. So I think we should definitely continue it further.